This is day 1150, Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. Our sponsor going to share more of the Shulchan Yomi. Please come me directly. They're very, very greatly appreciated. Today we're still doing Simon Kuf Yud. It's penultimate day of Simon Kuf Yud. The Sif Kuf Chav Beis, the Sif Kuf Lamed Aleph. Kuf Beis, Klal Yud Test. Klal Yud Sveik Sveika. Kosar B'Sein B'Loi Test is a Ktubas El Shleidim. You talk about Kati Iko Sveik Sveika. You're going to say there's still Sveik Sveika by a woman who's found to have a Besel Basuach. Sorry, bonus of Rotza. We're not sure if he was done. She was compelled or was deliberate. Meaning some Rotza. Going to say it's deliberate. Shema she Ktana Zinsa. Maybe it happened when she was a minor. Pitik Onesu, and the seduction of a minor is considered to be rape. Yeshua Hashem Ones Chadu. We can say that it's not a Sveik Seiko because the name Ones is considered to be Ones, whether it was Ones on account of it being coerced or honest on account of she being a minor. Both Sveikos, in essence, have the same name. All the fakes from this person learned that all the fakos have to be like this. I'm not sure what it means by like this. I mean, we're saying that it's not a fake faker. Something seems to be wrong here. This is one of the Gedolim had, it was astonishing. Chumas Adeshin. Simukuf Lamet. You have a goat. You don't know if this is the first time it's giving birth or not. The oldest Zokan gave birth to a male and female. That's Zokan Mutam is fake faker. So something the male is pretty good fake faker. Shemak Far Bichra. Maybe already gave birth once before, so it's not a bechol. And even in Slomer Shem Lobicha, we're going to say it was not didn't give birth before Shem came because it's Tchila. Maybe the female came out first. Because Lashon wrote as follows: Shalani Marin Rab Moshe Davar. He was at the Chumas Deshes. That's it. So my gam who the Shem Sveika Chadu. He wants to say the name. This is one suffix. The suffix Achor Ein Material Rishon. Second suffix does not print more than the first suffix. You basically write the Choshi Shabbos fake sake of Yilchai Gavna. And we have evidence that this also considers fake sake. I go show Echlo Chash to be places. Why it's not concerned with the places? So obviously, it's a type. Like I said, it's a typo in this Arukh HaShulchan previously. We should say Mizel Lugo, but it's called fake sake locanes or something like that. Anyway, Kuv Chav Gimel, Klau Chav. Odi Yishlak Shos Kamas fake fake. We answered several other fake fakers, which seem to be one shame echad. Why there's fake fakers? Kagon Sofik Machad B'Chalal Haguf. They have a question whether there was a needle in the cavity of the body of the animal. Until we go fake faker. We allow this. It's going to be fake faker. Shemlo Ba Machad B'Chalal Haguf. Maybe the needle did not get into the cavity of the body. In some of we're going to say it did. Maybe it didn't pierce one of the inner organs. And our concern is only with inner organs. So there seems to be, again, only one shame suffix. Maybe they got pierced, maybe not pierced. What difference to make? The reason they're not pierced is because the needle not come into the cavity of the body. Or came in and didn't pierce. It's all one name. We have a suffix whether something is chodesh or not. Maybe the grain is from previous year. Some are going to say it's in this year. Maybe it took root before the Omer was would have been brought. That's in the Chuvas Harosh. It seems also to be all one name. The Mali Nisha shows Yom Kippur. What does make it took root 3 days for the Omer, or a year before the Omer? Also, if you have a lung adjacent to the wall of the chest, the poskim machine calls fake faker. The poskim will permit this on account of his fake faker. Maybe the fact that there is a adhesion here is on account of the chest wall. Instead of we're going to say because of the lung, maybe there's no hole in the lung. Because suffix echad. Again, here it's all one suffix. Shema nikva hareya. Shema lo nikva. Maybe is there a hole? Isn't there a hole in the lung? Rashba. What's with the Rashba? It's Barish Nichlas Ben Eshvachim. When a lion enters among the oxen, Davi fakes faker. Fakes faker Shema Lodaris. Maybe it didn't scratch. And someone else is going to say it did scratch. Shema Lodaris Kenechalaguf. Maybe it didn't scratch opposite the cavity of the body. Vaha Hakol Shem Echadu. Again, it's all one name. Because anytime it doesn't scratch opposite the cavity of the body, it's not considered to be the problem of Drisa. Also, to allow generic kalim of non-Jews, maybe they have them used for 24 hours. If they even they're used for the past 24 hours, maybe they use with something which had an off taste. It's also one name. The gam who ain't ben yom kosher bagam. The whole issue is nighttime bagam, and not no nighttime bagam, because the whole issue, the whole had to not ben yom is because nighttime bagam. Mali bagam b'nei shein b'yomo. What difference does it make the bagam is because it's a day old. If she started with the bagam, use it for something which has a bad taste. Lots of fake fakes seem to be fake fakes of one name. Kuf chaf hey. Someone only wrote to make the following distinction. Every time the weak point, Achilles' heel, so to speak, it's clear, such as when he got married and he found that his wife had an opening with no basulim. I thought you want to remove this reyusa and say it's not a problem on account of this fake seika. One subject has to be more than the other one. But if there is no damaging evidence in front of us, the thing which we're judging, we're concerned maybe there's something bad here. And so you don't need any of the standard conditions to say fake. I mean, rakish needs studying. They're only as long as there are two sides. To say that there's no problem here. That's not to make us fake. That is the chavas tas. In all these cases we have just enumerated, there's no definite problem. We're concerned that perhaps a problem occurred. You don't. Again, it seems like a typo. Means it's not a problem. It's Shem Echad. That's a nice word, says Arukh HaShulchan. Anytime the Isser is seen, it's obvious. You want to eliminate it from being also the kind of fake Sveika. You need two distinct Sveikos. So by the time we're suspicious that maybe it's a prohibition here. As long as there are two Sveikos, if there's a prohibition or not, even though they're really one suffix. Nevertheless, it makes it a rove, a possibility that it's mutter. Possibility that it's mutter. In other words, we don't have to say it's an isser, because maybe it happened this way. In some way, okay, we're going to say it's not that way. Okay, maybe it got the situation in another way. Mela, the Rov Makrila Masha Enkan Isser Klaus, so the majority will indicate that there's no prohibition here at all. Okay, so the Arukh HaShulchan seems to accept the Chabastas' chiluk between a place where there's Reusa and a place where there's no Reusa. Kul Chav Vav, Chav Gimel. Magam Shetzar Shnei Shemos, a place where you do need two Shemos, they have to be separate. Hakavana means that one of the speakers has to be permit more than the other one. Please any claim Shemos, that's what defines two names. The fakers are distinct in one of their halachas. I feel my din, I don't know he was going to say, even a halach was not relevant in our day and age. Such as a woman who has a wound inside her uterus. She saw blood. Something that started, we're not sure if it came from the sides. Something that came from inside. I shouldn't say uterus, from behind the cervix. Into something car. And if you say it's from the Makor, which normally is Tomei, Shema Damako, maybe in this case that's not Tomei because it's Damako, because she Shabbos fakes Feko Talabal is considered a good seika. Minor to husband. Perhaps Shem Echad, it seems to be Shem Echad. Is it Dam Torah, is it Tam Tame? Come never came the Kaima Makor Makoma Tame. Since we hold normally that behind the cervix is Tame, Klamash Adam Shem Makor, the blood in the behind the cervix. I feel who Dam Maka, even if it comes from the even if it comes from a wound, you come Dam Tame. Nevertheless, it's the blood is Tame because the Rambam Berg out. Mitud mi matami mishkav din yutes ein sham. But the blood from the sides is completely tar. So one suffix is permits more than the other one, because um, because I'm not sure exactly why. The dam and the more even the dam is dam tame. Oh, because okay, it's like this because that it's tame even if it comes from maka, but it's not metame here as a nida. So therefore, the question is like this: it's a suffix if the blood comes from the core, from the study, from the makor, and no, suffix is study makor. It's suffix from the study from the core. So the core shemam dam makahu. So what? Shemam dam makahu, which is tar. I'm not sure what's matter more. What's the example of? Obviously, between are not relevant as man as that. I'm not sure how this works. Again, if two speakers should distinguish something, even there's not as the woman has a maka in the makor and she saw blood. It's not sure if it's from the side, outside the cervix, which is tahar, or from the behind the cervix, which is tameh. And if you even from the behind the cervix, say it's not maka. Even though it's one shem echad, as makor tameh. Downstairs star. I guess Rabbi Yosef means that even though it's tame, it's still considered to be it's not tame labala. Okay, so even though so the second suffix is taken into account is based on the being matir labala as opposed to being tame, and tuma is not relevant. It's manazeh tumantara, something along those lines. I'm not 100% sure. Kuchav zayin, klachav dal. Suffix is starting to deal lab suffix. If it's suffix which is based on our ignorance, that's not a suffix. You're a chacham, you're there. You're knowledgeable, you know. But that's I think Yom Shad and the wisdom of fools is not sufficient to include. It's a Mordechai. Kagon, such as Shetzorach L'Shar B'Kdei Yeshishim Kneg Isser. You have to reckon if in a pot there's 60 to nullify the Isser. Bacteria Imas and the pot with the Issers in front of us. But we don't know how to reckon it. Ain't a suffix outside of suffix. If you were smart enough, you know how to reckon it. I'm in the Shabbat there about episode, but the pot was spilled. It certainly is a suffix because it no longer is possible to reckon it. Also, in all those places where the poskim closed the way to us, to say we're not sure how to check things up. I feel and even a chacham who's a well-known chacham is not allowed to do a ma'aseh. What does it mean? I guess it means that I guess if it's spilled, it means it's suffix, right? I assume that's what it refers to. Nishbach Hagdera. In other words, if even something which you can't check, if Nishbach Hagdera, then rely on that. And that makes it, again, a suffix we can be mitzaref. Kuv Rav Ches, Klau Chav Hei. Requiring Isbar with Shasava. The Shasava is a Torah when it's already been clarified where the first prohibition is a Torah prohibition. We don't allow the second suffix through a mixture. Chaim b'safik echad b'kuv b'safik echad b'taruvas. Also, when one safik is in the chefts of the iser, one safik is in the mixture. Lo means sveik sveik. We don't say sveik sveik. The issue is some say gam shnei sfukas and shnei gufim. Even when the two sveikas are in two bodies, different chefts of iser. Lo means sveik sveik. We don't say sveik sveik. Go. So it's basically pasa, an egg in its shell. Shnei tzis b'anigoilos. It's found in a hen. Shula safik treifa, and the hen is the safik treifa. That was fake sveika. It's fake sveika. Shem time goes kashera. Maybe then it's kosher. And someone treifa, and he goes say it's treifa. Shem and go kodesh shenitva. Maybe the shell was on it before it became treif. We wouldn't say fake sveika. Shum nasavik echom tiny golas. One safik is in the hen. Mashiach hates, and the other second was in the egg. Here's those who are dubious about this issue. According to Rashi, in the case of Manas Isa, where there are just many sfekas, and each sfekas topic is totally separate. Having seems to be two separate sfekas. Ayin Sham. According to the Rambam, we say even one suffix is in the chepts of the Yisr, one is in Tarevis. Savnu, like we saw, and see if Ayin Gimel, he was that kind of about that. He says, okay, it's true we hold like the Re in that case. Now let's see why should we add on to that and make an even more radical machlokas? Kuchav test, Klauchavav, the dairy showing up in this Arab Elef, Kunasuros. Well, according to the first opinion, even if it got mixed up in 1,000, they're all also. Came a Savik Echad Stalik, since one Savik is gone, since one's two different goofy. Only Sharak Savik Shay, those only one Savik, only the second Savik. How to say they go for Tarovis. By one in the Cheptavis, and one in the mixture, but in the Svek Sveka, there's no Svek, we can't say Svek Sveka. Came Yesh State Tani goes, those are two hens. Achas Treif, Achas Kshero, one is Treif, one is Kosher. The name Sabay name base, if an egg between two of them, Yesh Ganki something Nikmar Konim is something whether it was complete before it was the hen became treif. And then got mixed together. However, Chasam and Bate treifa. It's one of them is definitely treif. So the one sub is also the raisa. And therefore all the eggs are also. I mean, the Torah is suffix treif in the sarvik share, but if the hen, which is a suffix, suffix treif on, was the Bate treif, got mixed up with the kosher one. It's a beit seven and there's the egg between the two of them. I base on the egg is mutter. I feel like a vadai below klipa, but suffix treif, even if it for sure had no shell at the time that the question of the treif happened with the mother hen. Came the shoshel and base because when the egg was laid, no lushnas fekas biyachad. The 12 fekas came together. Therefore, muteris. Avolim yesh shnei basing the two eggs, shitil shneim, which the two hens laid. That one was suffix treifa, and then one of them is a suffix treifa. Hariyesh kan tarovis chad b'chad. It's a mixture, one-on-one. If also it's forbidden. There's no rove. Is that a kol amount of the base in a patela? Even if there was a rove, it doesn't matter because the egg is not bought and we're starting to raise the simon. Like we said at the beginning of the simon. You know, simon he says here, simon's sif samachet. We said at the beginning of the simon when it gets confused. Kuflamin. Klauchav sign. Chaim nitzach hatichas bas ben shtein chanios. If you find a piece of meat between two stores. Shabachas yesh tav b'treifa, one of them has tav b'treifa, v'achas kshera, one is kosher. But the sar b'chanios, when the stores got mixed up. It's interesting language, stores got mixed up. Even though first we found about the Savik trade, become a chaticha, yesh fake fake, and the pieces is fake fake. Shemi makshir made it's in the kosher store. Don't say you're going to say it's in the other store. Shemi and treifa, maybe it's not treif. Yeah, the Abi Savik fake fake gomer b'guf echad. It's an absolute fake fake in one chefts of Isser. Vikshul have the ask on him. The Akvaris bar but Savik treif shisar b'elef. We learned that Savik treif guys mixed up in 1,000. Asuros, they're all usher. And the Sarah Chasim and Berov, one and then afterwards got mixed up majority mutter. Avachad also, but it's one-on-one. It's also it's chavastas. Question. Look, it's not difficult. Badai mirak Savik treifa have also. It's the only issue with Savik treifa would be also. Contrary to Od Chanus Achaz Kshera, there was an additional store which you throw into the mix, which is kosher. Says when you want to judge the status of the piece we found, have a fake gomer. It's an absolute fake sveka. The shnei meguva chaticha. Those of them are questions about the piece. It's like the egg which we mentioned. That basically also on Bob is fake sveka. Even though the egg, when it came to the world, came with this fake sveka. But the piece was in the store, asur is aser. Because as once this was just plain old suffix trefa. Zeus the suffix trefa is harcha bechad. So the suffix trefa where it got mixed up one on one. Zeu emes dani al chadios. It's true if we're talking about the stores. But where we're talking about a piece is separate. But dani al chaticha lamitam piresh. Not because it was porish. Elamitam dain tzorch chanus or only because we don't, because we don't have to talk about the store. Shapi have fake fake. It's fake fake. I really have no idea what he's talking about here. To be honest with you, we don't have to talk about the store. You have a piece of meat between two stores. One is suffix. I guess it's not called the porish because it's between the two stores. One is suffix trefa, one is kosher. And the stores got mixed up. So even though I found out the suffix trefa is forced, he says the chadicha has this fake feka. Maybe it's in the kosher. There's some shema ain't a trefa. So this fake feka gomer b'shuguf echad. So why is it not chabachad aser? That was the question. So the answer is, if it was only suffix trefa, it was aser. But here's another store, so it's this fake feka gomer. Whether it was one store, it was one from the treif in that store where it was a suffix, and perhaps it's from the other store where it's definitely kosher. It's like an egg, even though even though it's fake seka, it doesn't happen simultaneously when it's laid, because it was in the store. It's also because it's suffix treifa. That's when we talk about the stores. But when we talk about the piece, it's not because of where it's porish from, because we don't have to talk about the store. Why do we have to talk about the store? I guess because of another store. You don't have to determine anything about the first store because there's another store we take into account. And that store is definitely mutter. I still understand something along those lines. Kufla Manalef. Let's see what he maybe clarifies this here. It's therefore we have in front of us, in fact, only two pieces. One is question, one is suffix treifa, one is questionable. We can't say maybe there's no it's at all. Suffix treifa, definitely one of them is a suffix treifa, which is enough to make it usher. Suffix deraisa. Can't stay masuros, they're both usher, like a fake faker. We have to paskin on that one already. If you'll never even one of the pieces got lost, ain't not the can't permit the other one. Came with Shokan suffix isser v'adai, because it was a suffix of a definite isser of suffix deraisa l'chumra. It's almost fake sveka. Tzarech dolomar shema ain't a suffix isser. You have to say maybe this is not the suffix isser. That suffix never. Maybe the suffix got lost. It's a lomar. Suffix. Well, this is fake sveka. You have to say maybe this is not the suffix isser. The suffix got lost. Maybe it's permitted. Have a fake sake of a shnei gufim. Fake sake is in two bodies, because you have to take into account that the suffix was lost. That's one suffix, and that's one goof, the lost item. And then you have to take into account the item we still have. That's a mutter. That's fake sake of shnei gufim. Okay. So first he says the issue is sake of shnei gufim. So I guess in the previous sif, you also say about issue with shnei gufim. It's not shnei gufim. Why is it not shnei gufim? Because it's not talking about the store, we're talking about the piece of meat. So the previous case was not two gufim because we're talking about the store. There are two different stores. We're talking about the meat. Then it's meat has a fake on one goof. Here's a fake on two gufim. The piece that you lost and the piece you had. Then he says, "Oh, the sabi echaravi the raisa." Raisa was the original svara. Here is the second svara. That's the one side is the raisa, and therefore it's the raisa chumrah. Tafkid yisrael chabit traded me the raisa and his batel. And therefore it's only when we can mix together 1 and 2, and it's yavish, of course. And whereas the rice is batel, that's okay. But then we call out one gets lost. But not by 1 on 1, either because it's 2 gufim, in the case of 2 gufim, or because one of them is subject to rice l'chumrah, and therefore it's passed in the way that it's also. Okay, that is it for today.